It's the 10th of July 2024, and we have a new government in the United Kingdom after 14 years. First of all, congratulations. And I say this and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Congratulations that we are now free from policies which did not make sense, from people who did not care, and from laws that did not do justice to what they're meant to be doing. What I mean is that the previous 14 years have seen austerity drives, it has seen crackdowns on immigration, it has seen crackdowns on all other areas of our lives. We look at wherever we wanted to have freedom, those freedoms have been curtailed. Brexit has taken place. We are the only nation now. And I take these words from the LBC presenters, especially Mr. O'Brien, who is one of my favorite presenters ever. When you listen to James O'Brien, there is a common sense that comes out. And this is the reason I've mentioned him particularly is because he always uses this phrase, and I really love that. He says, we are the only nation that has imposed economic sanctions upon ourselves by voting for Brexit. And I still believe that if Brexit was properly presented, if it was based on truth and not lies being told and not a wave of populism being ridden at that time, we would not have gone for that because it just wasn't in our best interests. But that is a political point. I'm not going for a political point. All I'm saying is congratulations that there's been a change of government. We are focusing on the word change. And that is what we're hoping is going to keep on happening because the last 14 years, frankly, let's accept it, have been absolutely rubbish. Moving on to my point about immigration today. We are looking at hope for the future. We are looking at what this government could do, what this government should do. We are looking at their national statement or the national mission being that we want to go for growth, economic growth. There have been announcements about lots and lots of new houses being built. There have been announcements about wind farms being allowed and all those things. So there is growth in the making that we can see. Who are going to be the people who bring about that change? I think there has to be an element of immigration, positive immigration, that will bring about these changes. Now, what they're going to be, it's anybody's guess. I don't know yet. What the Labour plan has been before the election, what they said is we are going to try to be fair and we are going to try to be coherent about what we're doing, not just ride a wave of hatred like Suella Braverman and Nigel Farage like to do. According to Nigel Farage, every problem in the UK is down to immigration. You see traffic, immigrants. You see waiting lines in the hospitals, immigrants. You see schools not running well or knife crime going up, immigrants. So what you fail to understand and what you fail to see is that these immigrants don't leave their countries to come here and sit on these paltry benefits. They come here and they want a better life. What they want to do is they want to earn well. They want to pay their taxes. They want to have a better life. They want to have a better future for their children. That is why they're moving out. And in case these people such as the Farages and the Bravermans, if they have not got concept of it or got hold of it, this is now a global village. This is what the world is. Now, just go back 30 years. Time seems to pass much faster right now. Why is that? It's because we are so connected. We are so in tune with each other. The social media, the internet, everything that you see around you connects people. And what these Farages and Bravermans want to do is dissect all of this and then treat people as different entities. And then according to their colors or their backgrounds or their religions or their beliefs, they want to separate them. And they want to compartmentalize these people. And that is where the nationalism and the populism grows. Where you say, do you want better hospitals? Do you want better schools? Do you want less traffic? Then immigrants should be out of the country. Of course, everybody's going to say, yes, absolutely, we should do that. Get rid of the bloody immigrants. But that is not true. when you look at the numbers, when you look at all the causes of these things, you will understand that is not the case. If you look at the hospitals, NHS, what percentage of the NHS staff is made up of immigrants? You walk on the streets. I'm not talking about only London. You walk anywhere. You go anywhere. You go to Manchester, you will see immigrants. You go to Birmingham, you'll see immigrants. You go to Newport, you'll see immigrants. I'm talking about where I travel most when I'm going for court hearings. The point being, we are not an island that is disconnected from the world. It was, if you still understand, and I keep saying this, it is the United States of America which makes America so powerful. It's Russian Federation, or what it used to be, or the USSR, what made that powerful. Look at Europe as a whole structure. It is made up of different states that would make it powerful. And then we say, no, we want to get away from that, and we want to have our own little island, and we'll have our own chicken, and we'll have our own fruits, and we'll have our own this and our own that. And then suddenly you say, oh, well, hang on a second, we don't have anybody to do these jobs because our people are either not qualified or not willing to do this. So where do we get these people? Well, we'll have to go with immigrants. Now this government has just announced that there's going to be house building, thousands and thousands of houses to be built. Who are going to build those? Do we have people sitting on benefits at home who are going to leave those benefits and come out and start building those homes? Or are they going to suddenly leave their benefits and start getting trained as far as their education and their qualifications are concerned and start becoming doctors and nurses? No, that's not how it's going to happen. It's the next generation that we need to target. It's the next, the kids who are right now in the early stages of their careers. Those are the kids that need to be targeted so that they can understand the value of education, understand the value of qualifications, and understand the value of hard work. And that is what's going to make Britain great again. That is what the hope is. But anyway, I digress a little bit because I have this hope. I'm just talking about what the hope for the future is and what we are expecting. Right now, expectations are completely aside because whatever you expect, it is lining yourself up for a disappointment because you just don't know where the government will need to go. They have such a mess to clear. But there are illegal immigrants. What's going to happen with that? I don't think there's going to be an absolute amnesty for everybody where everybody gets everything. No, but I do believe that if you have stayed in the country for a long enough period of time. Long enough. What is long enough? For some people, 4 or 5 years might be a very long time. For some people, 15 years might be a very long time. The law says if you've been in the country for 20 years, you will get your status if you can prove that, continuous residence. But if you've been here for less than 20 years, if you have compassionate grounds, if you have exceptional circumstances, if your situation calls for it, then you can even get status after 15 years, even if you do not meet the rules and the requirements. I've got today a success where somebody who's been in the country for 15 years, we went into his appeal process, prepared everything, and then right towards the appeal, he kind of came and told me, well, I didn't tell you something before. I have a wife who's a refugee now, and we're expecting a child. So what I did was I told him to withdraw the appeal, do a new application, and that application has now been successful and he's been granted his status and he's extremely happy. And I am extremely happy for him because this was a matter which was very difficult for him and he was constantly being told that you have to wait for the full 20 years before you are able to get your status. So circumstances will define what you can or cannot get. So I don't think overstayers in the UK will just be given an absolute amnesty. I think what will happen is if you are an overstayer, submit an application to the Home Office. Present your grounds. Do them properly. Not some Mickey Mouse way of doing it. Do it properly in the sense that you put all your circumstances there, any evidence that you can, any letters of support that you can, anything that you can argue. Put everything there. And then I believe that the Home Office will become a bit more lenient where they will start looking at this with a view to clear the backlog, not the kind of backlog that Boris Johnson cleared or Rishi Sunak was pretending to clear with the asylum, when all those asylum cases that had been waiting for years and years were suddenly cleared because they were abandoned or they were treated as abandoned. And that was it. The other thing I expect some sort of business immigration to come in. I expect when this house building goes in, there will be something to do with skilled workers. There should be these things that are coming in. The entrepreneur visa was a fantastic visa. It was abused beyond belief, but that was due to the incompetence of the government and the Home Office. But hopefully, if something like that is introduced again, that would be fantastic. I really do hope that all of us do keep talking about positive changes, and I really hope that this government does deliver what we are all promised. Thank you very much for listening.